So dear Dhamma friends, so we're going to start our session. Please be comfortable yourself and relax your body. And focus your mind to this bell sound, and while you're focusing to the sound, let yourself, your body to relax and let your mind to calm down, relax your breathing. And if it is possible, gently close your eyes. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So dear Dhamma friends, before we get into practice, I'll give some information that may help for you while you're practicing yourself. So always remember, when you practice, you no need to always tie to information that whatever we give. So you have to keep your total freedom, and at the same time, when you have the very clear awareness, the things cannot go wrong. But at the same time, in the beginning, you have to have some discipline to stay in the path, because otherwise your own mind has way to bring things related to your own thoughts. So then it doesn't work. So that's why this information, you have to keep it kind of like a bridge, and you use it only to cross the river, otherwise not to stay there, because it is a kind of a way. Sometimes we can teach meditation, and for some we cannot teach meditation. So that's why. So somehow, when it comes to meditation, there are mainly two mental cultures. One is called samatha, tranquility meditation, or it called chitta bhavana and tranquility meditation, and samadhi bhavana. Another one called insight meditation, analytical meditation, panya bhavana. See, this all called vipassana. So the very difference in panya bhavana, also in the beginning with the chitta bhavana or the tranquility meditation, in the beginning you have to bring your mind to calm down and relax and keep it in one place. Why? Because this mind always going here and there and moving with thoughts related with maybe past or the future. So the very nature of the mind, if the mind moving, it is very difficult to focus. So without focusing, you cannot analyze, you cannot recognize. So that's why in the beginning, we're trying to develop the focus. So when it comes to that, rather than thinking about it or rather than going with thoughts, we follow one mental object. And once you have the primary mental object, you have to be disciplined. It is totally 100% your own responsibility. You have to be disciplined to stay with the mental object. So that is where we cannot teach you, because it is your total responsibility. We can give the information regarding the primary mental object, but stay with that is up to you. So then we give the inhalation exhalation as a primary mental object. So then what you have to do, without thinking anything, just bring your attention to inhalation exhalation and stay with it and allow it to happen. You no need to inhale or exhale, or you no need to mentally push to make it happen. You no need to interfere with its natural process. Allow it to happen naturally, and when it happens, just recognize through the sensation of the inhalation exhalation, recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. So that is the very simple basic step that you have to take in the beginning. And then if the mind go here and there, again and again, you stay with the inhalation exhalation. And while you're staying like this, what is happening naturally? If you do it properly, naturally your mind start to get used to with inhalation exhalation. So then you have to bring a little bit more effort and observe little bit deeply the entire continuation of the inhalation exhalation. Knowingly, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. And again, you have to stay with following that. So it's, and the same thing, no judging, no kind of like interfering with it, no make any comments. So you just see and recognize. It's same like watching a river, watching the ocean. And then from there you go to see the very nature of the inhalation exhalation. It has, each and every inhalation exhalation has a different character. Some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So each and every inhalation, exhalation unique. Another thing is, sometimes your right nostril inhale, left neutral, and sometimes left inhale, right neutral. So this kind of thing, you observe this all, and you're not going to interfere or you're not going to correct anything. So sometimes when you keep observing, you don't feel any inhalation, exhalation. So you just wait there. Otherwise, you don't try to make it happen. Suddenly inhale or exhale. No, you just wait and see what's going to happen. So like that, again and again, stay with the inhalation, exhalation. In a certain level, your breathing, your body, your mind able to settle down as one. So once you come to tranquility state, even little bit from there, we go to Vipassana level of practice, because here that we have very limited time, but if you practice yourself, you can take some time and stay. But here then we go to Vipassana level. So in the Vipassana level, what we does? In the Vipassana level, rather than observing the inhalation, exhalation, we observe the very reaction or the very nature of the mind. How we do this? So in the we observe the 5 aggregates. What are those 5 aggregates? Form. So the form itself means the inhalation or exhalation. Feeling, and when the inhalation exhalation happen, according to the touch, the feelings arise, and the sensation, formations, and the recognition or the consciousness. So when the inhalation exhalation happens, just see how the feelings react, how the feelings behave. And sometimes that you able to see following the inhalation exhalation, feelings change. So whatever the feelings you get when the inhalation happens, it different when the exhalation happens. And then the previous inhalation feelings not going to be there anymore when the exhalation happen. So the very nature of the feelings, it never going to be there for an even moment. Right away, it going to disappear. Rising, change, rising, change. So the disappearance mean it go to something else. So if you able to follow the feelings, then the mind always go with the moment without thinking about any past or the future. So that way also your mind stay in the present moment. So once the feelings become settled down and the sensation, so what is the difference with the feelings and the sensation? So it like this. So when the inhalation, just imagine this is the inhalation or exhalation. So when the inhalation exhalation happens and you feel that on this skin, that is the feeling. So what you feel on your skin. So that's why you follow the feelings. Sensation means that, and some inhalation become heavy or soft. So according to that, and sometimes it feel more thoroughly, deeply. That is sensation. And sometimes it feels more soft and relaxed. So that is the sensation. So according to the behavior of the inhalation, exhalation, and the pain arise first and followed by the pain, that sensation arise. So sensation is that, and according to the inhalation, exhalation, according to the pain, and as example, pain suddenly arise, maybe on the surface level, very soft, and then the sensation going to be soft. And the feelings, the arise, like as example, when we observe in the tranquility state of the meditation, we observe some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft. So that how that you recognize the heaviness, that is sensation. How you recognize that softness, that is the sensation. But it comes after the feelings. So in the surface level, the feeling has only three methods. What are those? Good feeling, comfortable feeling, uncomfortable feeling, neutral feelings. So then after that, the sensation is the one who divide long, short, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So like that divisions come out of the sensation. So each and every inhalation, exhalation different like that way. There is a different feelings come when it. So observing that, it is a mental condition. It need the kind of the help from the mind. And then the formations. Formations means thoughts. Because the inhalation, exhalation, to recognize inhalation as inhalation, you need the previous experience. Without that, you cannot do that. That's how you recognize this is inhalation. With your previous knowledge, you recognize this as an exhalation. Even that, namely, as example, when I say deep inhalation, so without happening it to you, there's the idea come to you. It's kind of what kind of inhalation. When I say soft inhalation, so that is mental formation. That is how you recognize. Even the sensation arise, feelings arise, that you put a name on it according to the mental formations. So how the mental formations come out of your past experience. So another example, I say, so close your right nostril and inhale through your left. So then inhale, and then you know the breathing should take up. So how you know when I say inhale, you should breathe in? Because you learn somewhere. So that is in you as memory. So that is the mental formation. Roots, there is a root in you. When you hear it, that root's giving information. There is a file, it's give the information, details. So just give another example. When you born, the entire world, everybody, when inhale, they say, when the breathing go up, they say it is exhalation. They name it. And then you heard exhalation mean breathing in. So then I say, close your right nostril, exhale. So what you do? You breathe, you take the air in. So like that, inhalation, exhalation, long, short, heavy, soft. Namely, you recognize because of the mental formation. So do you have the feelings, but you put a name on it. So you recognize through words. So that is you recognize through the picture, because the mental formations always need the words or colors or the pictures. And the form then it come to cognition. Oh, so this everything keep as bound as one, wrapped as one, and hold as one. So this is the method that go when something it happen with all your bodily, verbally, mentally, that with the action, that whatever you do, this is happening with all your that six senses, with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So whatever the perception come to you in that very moment, whatever the name and form arise, this happening. But we just go with the inhalation, exhalation. And in the tranquility state, we observe the outside experience. And so in the Vipassana level, we observe how the mind experiences this. Forget about all the outside information or the details. We don't go to that. It doesn't matter, inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, softer. It doesn't matter. We more focus to inner change. How our experience change moment by moment, followed by the inhalation, exhalation. So when you recognize the change and go with it, and again keep the newness, in that very moment, you have to develop that clear analytical mind with the observation, and without bringing any past experience to the present moment. So in that very moment by moment, in the samatha meditation, we construct step by step, inhalation, exhalation, long, short, heavy, so beginning, middle, end. We construct, we format our practice little by little. But in the Vipassana level, deconstruct. The mind release all the format, and it completely become clear without thought you observe. So that is the difference, this two meditation techniques. But in the beginning, we have to develop that the tranquility state, and from there we go to release our mind from all the thoughts, the patterns, and any kind of methods, and observe just only the change. That change, not about the anything this outside, the change that you experience through the feelings. And in the beginning, you can go with the inhalation, exhalation. When it completely become deeper, the entire body, that you can see how moment by moment change. When you able to locate, get a clear mental note regarding that change, that is where you recognize what is impermanent, because it's a moment by moment journey. When you are able to recognize that impermanent, naturally your mind not trying to settle down in a place, because there is no moment to settle down. There is no space to hold it to something. It always always become something. And then that is where you recognize unsatisfactory nature. And also this everything happening without any self-centered idea or relationship. And that is where you recognize this all the feelings, sensation, formations, consciousness, this everything selfless. And how then happening? According to necessary conditions. When the deeper inhalation arises, so how the deeper inhalation come? According to the necessary conditions of the body. If the body need more oxygen, it is not you thinking, oh, I need more breathing. You don't do that. It's naturally happening with all the organs. And then the deeply inhale. So according to deep inhale, you get a feeling and the sensation arise different. Formations and the consciousness become different. So like that, moment by moment, you go with the change and following the change, stay with the change, experience the change related to your feelings. So let practice a little bit, because we can talk about this hours and hours, it's not going to work. But one minute practice is going to give kind of like understanding to yourself. But this also very important in that's information, because that information help us to have some guidance ourselves. So your right palm on your left and make it straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. And bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself 3 times and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. And take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as some kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of the inhalation, exhalation. So in the beginning, bring your attention to your body and feel your whole body as one. And observe your lower part of the body and see if there are any sensation, feelings. Especially you can recognize, just allow it to happen, just let it be. Don't change. Just get a mental note. And bring your attention to your lower back area. And upper back and shoulders. And bring your attention to arms, elbow, forearms, palms, fingers, fingertips. And your abdominal area. And your chest. And your neck and head. And feel your whole body as one. Now bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. Deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And focus your mind in front of your nose and your upper lip area and follow the sensation. So don't interfere with the inhalation, exhalation, completely allow it to happen naturally. Follow the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. Knowingly, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. Be aware how the inhalation, exhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold, like that. So learn to accept it. Don't change any inhalation, exhalation. Just accept it. Be aware about the feelings arise followed by the inhalation, exhalation. And see the change and go and follow the change. See how feeling, sensation, formations, consciousness change, followed by the inhalation, exhalation. Bring attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire this compound, your village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. And as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this mentally, repeat after me with clear intention in your mind. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Send it as a light as far as you can visualize yourself. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward, and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, when it comes to Buddha's teaching, there are mainly two pillars. One is wisdom, another one is compassion. So you have to remember, you have to build these both pillars. And one of the most beautiful thing as a human being that you can experience is wisdom, and other one is the compassion. Because when you develop the compassion in your heart, and when you develop it with the wisdom, and that is where you're going to recognize the beauty of the human existence. And sometimes you can become that compassion or loving kindness without wisdom. Then what happens? Then you become more judgmental, and it can become harmful. So then you have to have clear understanding regarding even the loving kindness and compassion, and to develop it with the wisdom. Because without wisdom, loving kindness and compassion, it will help in ordinary life, but it's not going to bring that much effect for your journey. So then we practice vipassana, and today I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to explain you how you can develop the loving kindness with the vipassana knowledge. So that is kind of like you know, that huge. But I hope that I can explain, because this, as monks we have kind of like a bad habit. But there sometimes we try to explain things verbally, in kind of like it cannot explain, but we try to explain it. So somehow let's give a try. So when it comes to compassion, there are certain levels in compassion. So mainly that we go with the kind of relationships level of compassion. It's a very low level of compassion, medium and high. Just keep like that. Low level, medium and high. So in the low level of compassion, it's kind of like regarding the human, all the human rights, and law and order, the most of the ethics. So this all come related with the humanity. So that also, when you think about other people, that also related to maybe compassion. And when somebody in pain, you have kind of compassion. It's more connected to the heart. And then if somebody hungry and poor, and when you see that, you have the compassion regarding. But it doesn't happen to all the time. But it's sometimes. Even when you see a homeless person, sometimes you feel to give something. And if the person young and good health, that good looking, healthy, and sometimes you don't feel that compassion. You don't feel any loving kindness for that kind of people. And sometimes you have the compassion and loving kindness, love, and regarding your people around you. As example, two country in a war, in a very heavy winter time, and it's very difficult. And then your news you see that all from your side, all your soldiers from your side with your flag, and they go and they try to fight with others. You have the feelings, oh, this is our people. And but you don't think about other side, even though they also people that you take them as enemies. And sometimes you go with favorites in day-to-day life, and you like to help poor people, and you have the compassion, you have the loving kindness. It is very necessary, but you have to have kind of connections, some kind of feelings. Sometimes you say, I don't feel to help, I don't feel to give. So like that. And there's a medium level of compassion arise. So that is the, before you attain to enlightenment, in from the bottom level, that is the highest that you have to develop. It's like just kind of like a, you have understanding all conditions, things impermanent. And when you have that understanding, you're able to recognize all the conditions, things impermanent, and there is no divisions in that understanding. And when it comes to time, when you really understand the time, because the time is kind of like, the time is the real that the ghost that we have, but we don't see it. The real Mara is the time, real demon is the time, but you don't see it, because the time invisibly eat you. It's like a termite eat the wood. You don't see time, you cannot escape from that. So if anybody related to time, that person in a risk. So when you understand that, you have the compassion regarding that person. So that compassion is higher than that lower level of compassion. So that is where, how that you transform to that level, because you have the wisdom now, understand the time, very nature of the time, the all conditions, things impermanent. So in that level, you start to see different way. But rather than that, developing the wisdom, just we go with our ideas. And sometimes ethics and morality. We mostly base with the ethics and morality. That is our base. And it's always, we have divisions. We have dualistic mind. We always this and that. So with that, so as example, you have the compassion regarding a poor person. And when a person in pain, you have compassion. You have the loving kindness for the person, kind of like when in a difficult situation. You don't, mostly people don't have compassion when people having party and when they having good time. If they living in very happily, successfully, you don't, mostly people don't have compassion for that people. And mostly we focus to the poor or the unhappy, sad, worry people. And even you see kind of some people, young, good looking people dancing, you don't feel them kind of like compassion. You even sometimes you even don't think about them. But in the same street, if you see somebody that cannot walk and maybe no leg, disabled, and it's a really in difficult condition, and maybe you feel, oh, I feel so sorry. And how about why you don't go and tell to that all the young people who were dancing, and maybe they go and that this high end the shopping mall and they buy something Louis Vuitton or Chanel bag, and you don't tell to them, hey, I feel so sorry about you. You don't say that. And when somebody die and you express your sadness, I feel so sorry, my condolence. But when somebody born, you don't say like that. You say congratulations. And when somebody got divorced, you say, I am so sorry. But when somebody going to get married, you don't tell, I feel so sorry about you. They're both the same. Why? Because all conditions, things impermanent. The person who going to marry and the person who divorced, the both in the same timeline. So you don't see that. You just go with the ethics and morality. That's you learn, oh, this is like this way, oh, you have to have the compassion for this. But when it come to wisdom, not like that. You go with the Dhamma. When you come to the Vipassana level, you recognize all the feelings change. When it comes to that understanding, whoever, even in a happy life, you feel sorry about that person. You feel more sorry about that person. Why? Because that person clinging to that feelings and that person don't see it going to change. And in Buddhism, that's why in Buddha's thing, in sutras, any sutra, there's nothing talk about that the Buddha never talk about no any kind of the marriage festival. Nothing. There's no nothing about marriage festival, weddings. And even if nothing talk about the divorce also. So life is more than that. When it come to Vipassana level of deeper understanding with the wisdom, then you recognize. So when you say all living beings be well and happy, it should be for vegetarian people and it should be with non-vegetarian people, the both. That you cannot tell only, oh, I am vegetarian, I only eat vegetable soup, oh, I'm have the compassion only for the people who eat vegetarian, the vegetable. No. Why you hate for somebody? You cannot do that, because when it come to Vipassana level, that's why you recognize the all even you have the compassion regarding the other celestial beings, the devas. Why? Because they also trapped, they cannot see what you can see. They don't know the timeline and they don't see that how things change. they cannot recognize, they cannot catch the way the you recognize how the feelings change moment by moment, depending on its own conditions. But now you have the wisdom to understand, and then even the the angels appear. You feel the same compassion, knowingly. Oh, this angel in a trap, without knowingly this is going to change. So like that, remember that expand your understanding, deeper understanding. So in the higher level, when it comes to kind of like the enlightened beings, when the enlightened masters, the Buddha, the compassion they had, even it is more higher than that. It's kind of like it's like you watching a movie. You watching a movie, and then and sometimes the moment come, like for children, like in India, when they watch the movie, they take it kind of like it is real. Months by months, they live with it. Just imagine you are kind of like a producer, that you know how this happened, frame by frame, the scene by scene, location by location. You know this everything, how this happened. And then when the movie that goes, and all the audience go and become so crazy, and they singing and they fighting with the same with the screen. It happened in India, that the most of the movie theaters, the chairs put a nut and bolt to the ground, because otherwise sometimes when the actors fight, they take the chairs and they start to throw here and there. So because they take it kind of like a real. So the Buddha is kind of like the when you attain to enlightenment, you kind of like you see more in a more bigger picture. It's like the director, it's like a producer in that movie. So when it comes to that level, the way that they see and the way that they react is completely different. And that is where the poor person and the rich people both, they see what is happening behind them, how they become like that, and where it goes. And then they're not going to adjust to the surface level. Remember, in life, don't address to the face value. The face value means commonly that what you see, the label value. And in day-to-day life, when somebody say, oh, I heard, I feel this, I feeling this, I am so tired, so like that, we become more kind of like into that. We overreact. So, but when it comes to Vipassana level, you're not going to address to the face value. Remember that. You come to a more bigger picture, like how the parents parenting the children. And knowingly they have to become teenagers, young and adults. And sometimes children don't know about them, their own future, but the parents know about it. And sometimes in their life, they have to take decisions. For the moment, it hurt for the child's feelings. But you see it in a bigger picture. And you don't have the same the pain that child go through. You are far away from that. So how about the society? And when things happen, can you keep that everybody in equal level? And when things, and because in time, when you are able to understand the nature of the time, we all say, you and me, or anybody, even the beggar, even the President Trump, or the Kim Jong-un or anybody. No one can escape from that. And when it comes to time, then how about, can you have the compassion regarding that everybody in same level? Even the angels or the gods, they also in timeline. So can you have the same kind of the understanding when it come to time, when it come to all conditions things? Can you have the same compassion like the when you see somebody in very painful and somebody enjoying life and having a beer or drinking whiskey and dancing, and can you have the same compassion to both? That is the vipassana level of compassion. That is where you going to be in the middle, and your feelings not going to do anything. It is bigger than your feelings. That is where the wisdom going to play the role. Otherwise, what is happening? Otherwise, always that we come to judgments. See, when people, George Floyd, that the death happened, that everybody come to a street and protest. That kind of things come out of the compassion, loving kindness also there. But it's relative. That is the important thing you have to understand. It is relative. But if there is a relativity, it always related to conditions things. If there is a duality, it always related to the conditions and the time. No one can escape. No any dualistic mind or no any relativity can go out of the time. Einstein find out the time, the relativity, but no one follow that. No one don't care when it come to time. No one that the understand what is the nature of the relativity. If you recognize that, you understand it always change. It always change. Once you get into that understanding, that change, that you go beyond the timeline, you're not going to stuck with. So then remember, and when it comes to vipassana level of deeper understanding, you're not going to just adjust to the space value. You're going to become more higher. You're not going to build your mind with the relativity or with the according to that whatever the situations or the conditions. You're not going to construct your mind. You come out of the fabrication and you come out of the construction, and you could deconstruct. And because you know deeper level that when you say, may all living beings be well and happy, in that picture, you're not going to depend on this, that in day-to-day activities. So then remember yourself every day, at least few minutes, take. Come to the point to know with the conditions things. Come to the point to know the way of the time behave, and recognize yourself. We all in the same trap. With that understanding, just have few minutes yourself every day, knowing, just without any condition. It is not about the good people or the poor people, bad people, or only this kind of people. No, we all one day going to die. We all depending from the conditions things. We all in this timeline. It doesn't matter what we do in the moment. Of course, in life, people do different things. And according to our point of view, it's going to be different. And some people say it is good and some people say it is bad. It's always going to be. But when it comes to vipassana level, you have to go a little bit more higher and see deeply and recognize we all are children of this mother nature, and we all one day have to pass this time and go. So with that understanding, and if you can say, may all living beings be well and happy, it's completely different than in day to day, that what we call this loving kindness and meditation based with the moral and ethics. And when you have to add the wisdom to that, and when you have that wisdom with that moral and ethics, and it's going to shine more better than in day to day what we have. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. Finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhiti gayuko bhavat. Ittavata ca amhi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe buddha numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idam me punya kammam Asavakkayavang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Venerable Shanthi.